What's up, dude?
What you doing, Spoon? We already live, son. We already live. You came in on the lateness.
Well, you know, I showed you. You caught me. I was getting cuddles from babies.
Seen that.
It's hard to turn down, man.
Dang.
Especially when you can just chill and watch bubble guppies. It just makes you lazy.
What are you working on right now?
I'm fixing to pull comps on this house. I got to go see it one.
Want me to pull comps on them?
Yeah, we can do both.
I thought that. I mean,
I think the price doesn't really matter.
You don't think the price matters?
No, I'm saying at the price he's asking. I'm not sure that the comps really matter.
I don't know that the comps matter because, well, what he said on there was it was a 2,100 square foot house with a garage apartment in the back. So, yeah, I was like, it's like, man, it's gonna be a good one. Let me see if I can pull it up over here on my host screen.
Yeah,
so, we haven't spoken in a couple of days, not like this. I mean, we had a little conversation. Let me see. Let me pull up that.
Let me find on StreamYard over here.
So we had somebody back out of our hotel, right?
Yeah.
You heard from Cody on what the backups look like?
No. I've heard the same thing you did, that text.
Did we ever get a bid on what it was going to take to get the roof done? Probably not.
No.
I mean, it's showing up on the CAD as 2,222 square foot. Year built 1925.
But I'll call the guy that did our house in Acton and get a number this week. Come in.
Would you like some water?
Yes, thank you. I need water. Okay, that was very nice of you.
Oh, I drank out of that one.
You want to say hi to Mr. Corey?
Hi.
You can come behind me. Come behind me. Chuckleheads.
What's up?
Say hi.
Hi.
He said you got nice teeth.
Emery's losing her teeth. She lost her bottom one. She's got shark teeth though. They're coming in behind.
We get a little bit of that here too. I'll say hi, buddy.
Hi.
What's up? What are y'all doing?
Hey, I got this wholesaler calling me with this house.
Answer it.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Fine, how about you?
I'm doing all right, buddy. Hey,
Good.
my partner Corey said he said you got a property for sale.
Yeah, I do. We asked in 74. I'll tell you where it is at 27.
What is it? Let me get that again. What was the address again? All right. Oh yeah, man, I know that well. I've drunk and drive through a lot of that area in my time. So. Yeah. Well, let me. What was your name, sir? All right. Okay, Mr. Jerry. Let me run some numbers on it. I want to look at it and see if I can find something. I'll give you a holler, man. You know I love the north side, so we're
Yeah, the north side is out. I was raised over there till I was like 17 before I moved. I'm 69 now, right?
Yeah.
But
you don't
way back about the north side.
You don't sound a day over 68, sir. You sound great.
But anyway, I'll be over there today. I'm leaving City Hill now. I got some business to stop and do, but my goal is to wind up over there today. I'm gonna put some signs out on the street. Okay.
Yeah, I'll holler at you.
All right.
All right, bye. Oh man, those are my people right there. That dude.
So I'm looking at the comps on our latest little lead right here, and it's I mean, real turds are selling. This one's been on the market for 298 days though, and it's listed for 105. But it's not as big of a house, but it's as big of a turd as I'm sure what you're going to go look at. I mean, this house actually looks livable. Just not very good.
Well, we all know livable subject to the eye of the beholder. There's a dude living there right now.
Well, I know that, but I mean, there's one listed for 168, and on the outside it doesn't look
any better.
No, it does not look good, but on the inside it's fancy. They pulled back everything. It's showing the shiplap on the ceiling. They put in a fancy ceiling fan. Now it's active. It's only been on the market for 4 days.
Well, that area's hot, man. It is gentrifying very quickly.
Hot is relative. One sold for $44,000. It's a real turd though, like real turd. And then, I mean, it's an old house. Let me open up the data. Let me go back and look at a year's worth of data.
Well, I'm gonna try to go look at this other one on the north side that dude called me about on the way back today, and then meet him. And maybe if his comps suck as bad as you say they do, then I'll teach him how to use Propelio, and we'll try to get a real price.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we've finally got some solds. We got a 105, and it's decent from the outside, but again, half the square footage, but that really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Neighborhoods have caps. You can't. This one's got window units. I mean, it's a decent. What looks like a decent rental now. Days on market on it, 57 days. Another one sold for 84,000. Days on market 9. It was listed for 95. It's got central heat and air, but it's a turd on the inside. I mean, let's see, I don't know. Yeah, I can't hide the address. I don't want to dox our lead, but Spoonie, what do you think? What's it going to take to do 100 deals a month?
Well, obviously, I got to learn NLP better.
What's
And
NLP?
well, you'd have to ask the masters of NLP.
That's NLP.
Yeah, that's what I meant. The dude that's been in question that's doing 100 deals a month he's a master of NLP.
Yeah, well, I mean, all you do is just I mean, you can go read about it. You just agree with what they say, like, and try to be them. Like, you're sad, I'm sad. You're happy, I'm happy. We just match energies. It's a really weird deal to try to pull off. Like Grant Cardone shits all over it and sell or be sold. So there's probably better ways, but I've been looking at it. I've been watching people. I've been thinking about it. We don't wholesale a lot. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. You know what I mean? I don't know if we need to do more wholesaling. If we get some of these deals that we're getting over the next couple of days from y'all's bandit signs locked up, we'll probably be wholesaling like a motherfucker, just because I don't know if we'll be able to source the money to buy all of them. So we'll throw some out. But what do you think it takes? I mean, how many deals do you look at a week right now when we're marketing? I mean, how many have you looked at in the last 2 days?
3, but I don't look at enough a week. I need to be looking at 10 or 15 a week to get a steady 1 or 2 bought a week, maybe in the best week.
True, but I mean, people are doing 100 deals a month.
Well, I mean, then they need to be looking at 1,000 deals a month. But if you talk to these people, most of the time they tell you, I'm very selective. I tell people I can't work with them, stuff like that, like a lot of craziness. Which
I know you're looking at me, but your camera.
I moved my screen over. I
was like, I don't know where Jason's looking right now.
Yeah, I get weird eyes, bro. Weird eyes.
But yeah, I look at this and I've noticed a trend, and it's not really a trend. It's been right in front of our face the whole time. We all know what New Western does. Like, I would like to know if New Western does do mailers. I would like to know if they do. I don't think they do bandit signs. I would love to know what marketing they actually do, but what will they do with your deal, Jason?
Which deal?
Any deal. What will New Western do with it?
Well, their threshold. I mean, there's some good dudes over there. We got a couple of guys that we know that we're in that deal, but and there's a lot of turds over there too. But the most of the time they just run them out, see if they can sell them in 2 or 3 days, and if they can't sell them, they cut bait and run.
Right.
They got a volume business.
What marketing did that cost them?
$0 because they're waiting on every wholesaler that locks up a deal for the wrong price to come to them and try to get it sold.
That's it. And then they spend all of their money. I would bet they spend 100% of their money on marketing for new buyers.
Absolutely.
And $0 looking for new sellers. Very, very small amount of dollars looking for new sellers.
I think they spend a decent amount of time, probably not money, marketing. Because I've seen the guys roll up to the county auctions, Texas Tuesday.
Yeah,
I've seen them show up there looking for buyers and stuff. But I think that they probably, and I don't know, it's a guess on my part, they do a lot of recruiting of new wholesalers for seller leads.
I've not had very many interactions with them, but it's been right in front of our face the whole time. New Western and Net Worth both have large buyers lists.
Mm-hmm.
They cultivate that buyers list. The first time that I got involved with them was on a fake deal. So they do the old Craigslist post.
Oh, yeah.
It seems too good to be true. And then they get you down there to their office like, hey, look, you've already missed out on this one. Come down here to our office and meet with us. We'll go over our program with you. And so you're brand new, you're green. I wish I could pull this picture up. I might be able to. Emery was there. I'll see if I can get it up on my Facebook. But it's been right there in front of our face the entire time what it takes to become a large-scale wholesaler. Now, where do you get the buyers from? You run those spoof ads, stuff like that. But New Western didn't just show up overnight. But now you've got new companies coming in like Keegley, Astro Flipping. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Keegley's Jammies, I think I'm saying his name right, company. There's a lot of those guys. Even Steve has OfferFast.
Well, you could, yeah, but go to Steve's podcast right now. Go watch that redheaded dude. I can't even think of his name. Got a very forgettable face. Crap. Anyways, it'll come to me eventually. We'll see an ad with him on there, but he puts out the ad copy and says astro flipping, but basically it's daisy chaining, but he spells it out like right there on Steve's podcast how that came to be, how him and Jamil started working together, how they could find deals but disposing of them. They had Hunter, this other guy, his name was Hunter. He was great at disposing of them. And so they basically built out a disposition team and they dispose of your deals. Now that cost them $0. I mean, very limited dollars. And it's a lot easier for you. I mean, think about it like this. If we didn't have capital, right? If we were out in the world with no money and we're just trying to turn wholesale deals in between paying our bills, eating and everything else, you hit some really good licks, like boom, boom, boom. I mean, just look at what Kyle did. Kyle hit that $20,000 lick on that house in Hutchins, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he did after that. Like, I don't know where he reinvested that money. I don't know where that money went, right? But Kyle hit that lick and either decided to retire from real estate or outspend his skill set. I have no idea what happened. You know what I mean? It was like at that moment, we had so many deals on the plate that he was talking about quitting his job. And then, like nothing.
Well, I think there was some other stuff that came in. I don't want to go into his personal life.
But I'm not asking you to. It doesn't matter. Like look across the board. I can name. Look at Tyler. First guy I ever seen on Facebook Live. I don't even remember his last name. Hadn't been heard from since 2016. Like the dude just flat out disappeared. And he was doing flips. He had capital, he was buying deals, selling deals, but what ends up happening is you get strung out and you outspend your skill set You don't have any income coming in. You're living off credit cards, and it's this yo-yo of back and forth. You know what I mean? And most new wholesalers bust out because they either, one, spend their money on lifestyle, or two, outspend their skill set. And everybody gets this pie in the sky where they're looking up at, oh man, I want to do 5 deals a month, not realizing that if you do 5 good deals a year, like, you can make a lot of money. Look at what Toller meant for you. Toller
and Acton, both of them. Like, you do Ulyss. You do. If we were just doing 5 really solid deals a year and a bunch of small ones, we would all be in great shape.
Toller, Acton, and Ulyss is an entire year for 2 companies, right? An entire year worth of income for 2 companies. Now, the rest of them, we buy them, and you know what I mean? They become rentals. We got one Pecos court that we totally misplayed our hand on it. And it's going in the rental portfolio. Cleburne is another one that didn't work out as a hotel that we're in the middle of a refi on. It didn't work out. But if you're just going to be a wholesaler, and you want to be a large wholesaler, there's really only, I've got it down to 3 options. This is what I see from the people who are doing a lot of deals. Look at this. I got number 1. Jason, can you see number 1?
Yeah.
Move other people's deals. Focus on dispositions. Be a daisy chainer. Or learn a good JV contract. You got a good JV contract, Spoonie?
Do I have a JV contract? A good one?
Yeah.
I actually do, and I borrowed it from somebody that we both know.
Well, I don't have a good JV contract.
It's literally as simple as it gets. It just says on this deal, this person gets this percentage, this person gets this percentage.
Well, that's good. Vertically integrate. Do you know what that means? Those are big words. Those are $20 words.
Well, vertically integrate means you capture your supply chain.
So your supply chain is your skip tracing. You go get you a bandit sign company. You know what I mean? You start making everybody's fucking bandit signs. You sell everybody's bandit signs. Look at all the different people you've met them in real life that have a skip tracing company right now today. Like all the same data, just a different white label over the top of it. But they're getting their skips for 7 cents. They're charging you 15 to 18 cents, right? So every skip you buys them 1. Now they're vertically integrated. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I'm always nervous about buying from somebody else's buying because
maybe, but you don't even know.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't know. I had somebody you would never imagine reach out to me the other day and want to put Roughneck Real Estate over the top of their skip tracing company, over the top of it. So the rest of the people out there selling skip tracing wouldn't know that he's the one competing with them. They would think it was me. Swear to God. And I was like, I don't give a shit. If you put it together, you can put whatever on there because we're buddies and I don't care. And you can make all the money.
So let's answer Dylan's in here. Dylan Teddermeyer. Let's see. He's got a bunch, man. Hey, thanks for commenting, Dylan. As far as, I lost the screen here. I don't know who Carlos and Sal are. Dylan's mentioned them, so I don't know
Carlos and Sal own a skip tracing company. They own a cold calling company. They've got VAs.
Was that the radio dudes down in Houston?
No, they're out in Arizona, and they're legit. They do a large number of volume, but they're vertically integrated. They were businessmen before they got into this business. They weren't like you and me. You're out doing electrical work. I'm working on a drilling rig. We're not businessmen.
No,
you know what I mean? Like we're just pure grit and force. We're not.
But that's like Steve Trang. I like the shit out of Steve. He's a nice guy, but he was an agent. And he's got all kinds of agents all over the place. And then he started a title company, and he started.
Right, because all of those businesses will sustain you whenever you can't close an assignment. It's like so many people want to quit their job so soon, and they don't have the skill set to do it, and they want to be a large wholesaler, and they don't realize that you could make a really good living on this in this business. You can make really good deal doing 1 deal every 2 months, doing 6 deals a year.
Hey, My kids just brought me some snacks. They're trying to be helpful. They brought me Pringles, marshmallows, and goldfish.
I like that.
I hate marshmallows, so I don't know how that'll work. But
Make a s'more out of that. Take the goldfish and the Pringle and put the marshmallow in the middle and melt it down and eat it like a man.
that's horrific.
So
I didn't like marshmallows. So,
and number
so
three,
I just want to say this. There's a ton of legit guys out there doing this that are vertically integrated and they're real business people.
right.
But you're absolutely right. The average Joe can't do that. So these wholesalers that are like me that just try to scale, and I've done everything that Corey's mentioned. I've burned through all my cash. I've had too big a lifestyle, whatever. I've done all of those things. I've failed miserably.
I don't think you went too big a lifestyle. I mean, you're not out like you're not
No,
booze.
no, I don't mean like that. But I mean like we can always control what we spend in our lifestyle. But
Right.
at the same, and sometimes we get too big a lifestyle because we're making a shit ton of money somewhere else. Like I was making a ton of money being a government contractor, making $145,000 a year. Is a pretty good life for anybody. That's a great life. And I worked really hard to get that money, but also it was a really easy job. Like I loved my job and I could just do whatever. And then you go into a new career and you don't have enough money to sustain that lifestyle.
Oh, I know.
And you get where you're making $30,000 a year, which is what I made last year, $30,000 net.
Well, not last year. Last year's relative. It's 2019's last year now. So
Yeah, well, it was 2018. So, but my point is, that's the reality of trying to go all in on this business. Like it's not.
So,
No.
well, and that's the part. Like I think too many people get fucked up. Like the biggest guys you're looking at are all out there right now, saying, "Hey, let me dispose of your deal." Because now, did they take their lumps and learn how to market and produce their own deals? Absolutely. Did they build out a buyer's list the way that you need to build out a buyer's list? Absolutely. But what do they do now? They've got a little bit of clout on social media. Like right now, if we wanted to, we go into Roughneck Real Estate Group, send me all your deals, all your bullshit, and we would never have to slam another bandit sign again. Right or wrong?
Absolutely. I mean, we wouldn't have to right now. I get enough deals sent to me. I get probably a quarter of the deals you get sent to you.
Now the difference is here's what I don't and I don't know about you, but I don't mind buying from a wholesaler. I just it's like, you got a deal that you can't sell to anybody else. So now you're over here barking up my tree, and there was that thing out in Palestine that didn't have an easement.
Oh, that guy ghosted me. I went and did all the work for him. He ghosted me.
That's exactly right. That's what the hell happened. So that deal shows up. It's way inflated on price. It finally comes down to reality. You go do all the work. God don't talk to you. And now if you go out there and talk to that seller, they can't sell their house to anybody else. You're going to be the bad guy. Well, Jason went around me. You know what I mean? Jason skated my deal.
Yeah.
Hey, talk to me. It's got title issues. Didn't have an easement. All this bullshit. And that's why when you see 100 deals a month, you're like, how many of our deals are locked up with title issues right now? Everybody on our team is scrubbing title right now to get deals across the finish line.
And I love to scrub title deals. I think that's why, like, I'm always so fascinated by the craziness that Logan enters into. It's cool as shit to me. Same as the stuff you do. Like the title issues are the fun ones to me.
Hey, Jory, he nailed it. This is the name I'm looking for. Jory Austin gonna be at the Vegas Mastermind. I'm looking for Ozai Grimes. So if you go watch his on Steve Trangs, if you go watch that podcast, it's very good. I watched it. I'll tell you how I watched it. No homo. I watched it in bed naked.
I mean,
I got that Roku out of that Euless house, and I've been able to watch YouTube. Last night I learned how to do pixels on YouTube in bed, for 3 hours, Facebook pixels. So I'm coming. The winter time does weird things to me, Spoon. I've got all this free time that I don't normally have.
Yeah. So as far as vertical integration goes, we know that the average guy can't jump out there. So everybody knows my story, but I'm going to recap here. Jason spent $5,000 for a very famous wholesaling course. I'm
Very
not
famous.
taking those diet, huh?
Very famous, but I still never heard of that dude.
They got thousands and thousands of clients. And they had a cruise with Robert Kiyosaki. So
I don't know who that is either.
it doesn't matter. My point is, I went out and outspent everything. I blew my wad like I was at a strip club in Vegas. Well, not like that. I mean, just throwing cash at strippers. But it didn't do anything for me.
Because you didn't know how to negotiate.
Huh?
Because you didn't know how to negotiate.
Right. I didn't.
Lead gen is not the issue in this business.
That's true. Yeah, I can see. I
got two deals. I got 2 deals on the shitter in New Orleans yesterday. 2 deals. One guy wants to sell a portfolio for $400,000. Another guy wants $215,000 for his rental down there by Bourbon Street somewhere. Now I don't know. I have no idea what those houses are worth. None at all. None. But if I know how to negotiate, if I understand how to make owner finance offers, if I understand how to overcome objections, that's at least a listing. At least a listing. Right or wrong?
It's at least something.
It's at least a listing. So if I built my team out right, somebody's getting a listing and money's coming, right? If I'm worth the shit at negotiating, I can get those to numbers that work because they do want to sell. I don't know what their pain points are. I didn't go any further into it. I just sent them to Courtney Frick and was like, hey, I got accepted into this group that I tried to get in before I came out there and spoke at your event. And I started firing shots. And 6 shots in, I've melted down a realtor, and I've got 2 deals. What were you making? Screenshots in the group.
What were you making people mad about bandit signs this morning? Was that Facebook or?
No,
BP?
I quit talking on Bigger Pockets a long time ago because everybody was always mean to me, and I forgot about that.
Me too.
Like I forgot that on Bigger Pockets, it's very pretentious. They're very pretentious, and they hate every form of marketing. It doesn't matter what form of marketing you talk about. They get mad at you. Like, hey, I just did this great cold calling. Oh, you're harassing little old ladies. You should burn in hell. Like, we just did 700 bandit signs. You're going to litter bug. You just killed trees and ate elephants. And
yeah. Bigger Pockets is a weird deal, man. It's a great place to go if you want to get your dick kicked in by a lot of people that know the rules, but probably
don't do shit. Haven't done anything. Look, what's this last one right here?
Have tons of cash.
If you have a ton of cash, you can be a large wholesaler. Here's how I know that. Very, very famous wholesaler in our market, $75,000 a month marketing budget from day one. Went to all the same classes you went to, met all the right people, got in all the great masterminds, got told all the right stuff. $75,000 a month marketing budget from day one. Okay. Now, if you got $75,000 a month to burn day one, you good. You can be a large scale wholesaler. You'll learn negotiations and all that. Because when you got $75,000 a month to pour into marketing from day one, you're all there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have done something right in your life. You've saved up your money. You've got something that can pump capital into it during your lean times until you learn how to negotiate. You are good. Don't worry about it. You just light your money on fire, boo. Do you? Now, if you don't have, if you're not willing to daisy chain, if you're not willing to open up other forms of marketing, right? And if you don't have a shit ton of cash, do you see any other way to do even 100 deals a year, or I don't know, 150 deals a year, 400 deals a year? You see any way to do that without those 3 things? Because just take our own learning experience, me and you, learning from each other, right? Me tooling you, you tooling me, and the team that we've tried to build, right? Look at where we're at right now at this moment, okay? Versus like, can we just let the dogs loose? Could we start spending that $75,000 a month in marketing and have everybody up to speed on negotiations and everything else that they got to do?
No.
We would blow more deals than our skill set could allow for. Right now, within our own small group, when we do ringless voicemails, Cody calls back tremendously well, right? But how many did we convert?
Well, mostly the ones we did were listings. I don't think we converted one off this last round.
Not one. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, but we had the round before that, we had a highly targeted list. So we did ringless voicemail and direct mail to it. And the direct mail has produced 3 or 4. I don't remember. 3. The ringless voicemail has produced nothing. It was kind of overlapping marketing. Now that marketing campaign to that particular list, there was a lot of motivation on that list. Now, could we switch up the messaging and fire more shots into that? But I think that's like just shooting a dead corpse. You know what I mean? I think if you got bullets, I guess you can shoot them. But if you're worried about the next zombie, you might need to hold back on some of them bullets.
No, I mean, but that's exactly the same for any kind of marketing. It would be the same for Facebook. It'd be the same for mail. If your marketing is not converting, you probably want to look at your marketing instead of spending more money. You want to do a deep dive.
Maybe, but when you go look at Jeremy's board, there's a ton of deals on the board that just got to work their way through.
I got it.
Like the follow up is there, and it's not. I mean,
I'm not talking about him though. I'm talking about like when I was sending mail. I got very little. Well, I was probably sending the same piece that the other people were.
I did great when I was doing mail. When I was doing mail, when I was handwriting my own letter,
right,
it converted fabulously. When I bought a printer, this is the printer right here. When I bought a printer, I got my envelopes and I started stuffing them. $47,000 before Jacob said we can no longer spend any more money on direct mail because we haven't converted anything and message. Now, then we swapped to open letter marketing, did one list in Waco, had 5 deals that we could buy, okay, had no money to buy them. So we had sellers that wanted to sell to us. We had the want to buy, but we didn't know what at that moment in time. The only thing we could process was flips in our mind. Like buy and holds weren't a part of our strategy. So all of them were going to work, but we didn't have the money to buy them. We didn't have the capital. We didn't know where to get the capital. And we had outspent our skill set yet again.
Well, you made my point for me. My point was that you can burn through all your cash if you have the wrong marketing.
What? I don't even know if it was the wrong marketing, right? Like I have no idea. I don't think my letters were getting open.
That's my point. Like you switched to open letter marketing, something that was getting open, or your homemade letters were definitely getting open. If you're sending the wrong piece of mail, or you're sending
But open letter marketing in my mind at 80 cents a letter was going to break us. But I never looked at you know what I mean? When you're just sitting there stuffing envelopes all day, you're not looking at the cash that's leaving. I see, Si.
My kids bring me the weirdest stuff.
So do you, but with the 3 reasons I got up here to be a large scale wholesaler, what did I miss one?
I can't think, but also I haven't put a lot of brain power to it. I don't know.
I just, I mean, you know me.
I want to. Well, I guess it don't matter. You know how it is with any of this stuff. It's so subjective. Everybody always thinks it's about them or some bullshit like that. And I don't think anybody's trying to throw rocks at anybody here. We're just talking about.
I think you're feeling a little guilty. I think you got a little guilt on your soul, like
for what?
We're like that. You think we're throwing shades.
No, I don't. I think that's what.
I mean, I can say fuck New Western all day long.
Oh, I don't
not have any qualms about it. But you know what New Western does? They move other people's deals, right? And they're the biggest in the country, right? New Western and what's that other fuck staying company?
Net Worth.
That one. 2 of the biggest in the company. What model do they use? That you don't have to look much further. Like the wheel, you don't have to go reinvent the wheel. I don't personally daisy chain, right? I don't like it. I like being scrappy. I like being in the trenches. I like understanding negotiations and all that kind of stuff because I think there's a lot of people that I would like to meet somebody that makes a really good living only selling a New Western, right? Only feeding their deals in New Western because New Western, I've made $5,000 from New Western. Have you ever sold a deal through New Western?
Nope.
We've let them. Actually, we've made
$100 on an option from New Western.
We've made $20,000 from New Western. $20,000 from New Western because we had to sue them or threaten to sue them to get them to close on the second one. But those deals, if you've got those deals that you can feed them and just make $5,000 a pop and let them move your deal, and you don't have to worry about disposition, and you've got a ton of leads that they can move, by all means, do it. But that's not that. I don't know anybody that does that. Like I don't know anybody that just does that.
And we should, you should point out that there's a vertical integration in New Western too. They have their own title company. They have their own financing. They have a lot of their own stuff that they're making money off of these deals at multiple points of entry.
Their own hard money lending company. So they do have. There's a ton of vertical integration there. A ton. And anything that you're going to do is going to have vertical integration. If you're gonna be in business and you're going to be large, you better get some vertical integration in your life. I'm not knocking the guys that got vertical integration. Matter of fact, if we get the old office that we're going for, then we'll end up with our own forms of that. Not in the same capacity. Like I was thinking about the other day. I was like, you know what would really make us a bunch of money, like would make us a ton of money, a plumbing company. Mainly because of the problem we're having in Fort Worth right now. It's like, you go look at what you can buy a plumbing company for, like $120,000, $130,000. You get all.
You got to keep somebody with their license around. You got to have that master.
At least the guy's licensed, but that ends up being the problem. Like for us, you got to go to so many different cities, and a lot of times, like in Sampson Park, the master plumber has to be there to pull the permit. So, kind of roots out the non-local. Like you're going to end up. That master that's selling you the plumbing company wants in out of the day in day out running of the business. He just wants to hit that lick on leasing his license. So I think about it and I'm like, if we could make Dalton a master plumber overnight, we would send him to that school just to get away from that cost. That's the vertical integration that I look at because my long term goal is to own real estate. Not to buy and sell real estate. Like long term, I want to just have notes and rentals and different things like that pay and do the few flips a year for lifestyle and that's it.
Well, I think we could pick up somebody that did HVAC and electrical. That's pretty common. You could find the old master that just needed a retirement plan. That would be really easy to do. It might be a little harder.
HVAC would be a pretty interesting one. Because we're about to be remodeling 3 apartment complexes, and we're going to replace all the HVAC units in there. So, but the guy we got doing it, he's doing them for $2,500 a unit. So, do you really want the headache of
that I'm using, right?
Do what?
It's not the same guy I'm using.
No, we're using a company called Fahrenheit Solutions. They're out there in West Texas. I honestly don't know how he gets that pricing. Like when he just does a one-off for us, it's $2,800. So I don't know. And their warranty, like they've warranted everything. They've done, 15, 16 units for us and always show up and service our warranty calls. So, we're good with them. So what else you got, Spoonie? What other vertical integrated business you want? You want a mail house?
I think that'd be interesting, especially if we had the robot, the pen writers robots. I've looked into them.
I'm about to reach out to Lex and see what his business looks like. Because I hope we're about to have about 20,000 square foot of space, and I want to employ some people. I think an answering service for the rentals is, we pay $2,600 a month right now for an answering service, and I think that you could have a real low budget answering service that would spin off some money because it doesn't take a great skill set or big salary to do that. So I think that would be one that would be pretty easy to build out for our vertically integrated large wholesaling business. Spoonie.
Well, I got a bunch of cubes we can get down there for a good price too if you need a desk.
I'm just thinking about all the single moms. Hello. But I don't understand those call systems. Those call systems are probably pretty expensive because they always answer the phone, GBT Investments. You know what I mean? Like so they know who's calling while they're calling. You know what I mean? So gotta look into what that call system looks like. But anyways, I want to jump on this morning and talk about it. Spoon's distracted. He's looking at text messages. What are you going to offer on that house? You know yet?
I'm going to offer whatever it takes to get it done.
Well, good luck. I didn't see any comps. It is a 2,200 square foot house with a guest house in the back. Probably need to underwrite it as a rental. You know what I mean? Like probably need to see what it's going to take to get it rent ready. Because
I'm gonna do the comps on my side while we're talking.
Well, he wants 100,000 for it. And I already looked at the comps at the beginning of the video, and I couldn't see anything. I mean, there's something listed for 160, but I don't know. It's been on the market. One that sold for 85. But let me do some quick math for you, Spoonie. So once 100 divided by 0.7 equals. So if you don't think it'll sell for 143 as is, you got to get them off that 100. Now, on the flip side of that, it's got the 800 square foot little apartment in the back. You know, I mean that area will rent. What do you think of 1 bedroom, 1 bath efficiency there? Probably
at least 600, 700.
Do what?
At least 600.
Only 600?
I don't know, man.
Fort Worth.
That's a pretty rough neighborhood, bro.
Is it a rough neighborhood?
Yeah. That's a rough neighborhood.
Okay. So 600. What about the house? 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 2,200 square foot.
I don't know. It's at least 1,300. I mean, it's got to be. I haven't even tried to pull comps on rentals.
Well,
the best place to go for that is old Zillow. I like looking at rental comps on Zillow.
Do you?
Yeah.
That's why we mess up so much.
Is it?
Drive around in the neighborhood and find one for rent.
Okay. I can make some calls while I'm over there.
Yeah, and ask them if they want to sell. I mean, there's got to be at least one rental in the neighborhood. And if there's no rentals, it means it's a pretty good rental neighborhood. You know what I mean? Nothing's for rent in that neighborhood. It means people definitely want to rent there because nothing's vacant.
That is let me be careful what I say here. That is the nicer side of that neighborhood, but it's like I said, it's gentrifying very rapidly.
I'm not worried about any of that. I'm worried about what it'll rent for at this moment in time. But if you're saying a 1-1 will only rent for 600, I mean, that's amazingly low to me, but I believe it because you're Spoonie. And
I got a comp. Yeah, I've only got 2 comps here, one at 88 and one at 124.
You got one at 124?
Mm-hmm.
Where's it at? How far away?
It was canceled.
I'm about to say that's not a comp. That's
oh, well, there's a problem. Damn, this house was built in 25.
Yes.
Yikes.
So I opened it all the way up to like 1945 and all the way down to like 1910. And then I expanded the circle out to a mile and still didn't get anything that was a comp. Now there is that other one that's listed for 168. You see it?
Mm-mm.
Well, I don't know.
No, anything. I'm at. Let me get rid of the square footage.
Oh, that was something else I did. I dropped the square footage down to 1,100.
Well, I just got rid of it, and I got a shit ton of comps. There's tons of comps if you get rid of it. Square footage wise, they're all 2 1s and 3 1s that have been sold. Let me go back in the last year.
Now you got me curious.
I got 9 properties in the last year.
I got rid of the year built.
Huh?
The square footage.
I got 1900 and 1945. And they're almost all 30s and 40s homes being sold.
I've got a real dotted up map now. I see one for 152. Oh, there's one for 170. Yeah, it was built in 2018. Jesus. These aren't really comps. Another one built in 2019. Not real sure about this.
Yeah, maybe that's a $50,000 offer today.
I mean, the one right behind it sold, but it's a brand new house. Actually, I say it's brand new. It's got a piece of wood for a front door. But yeah, it was built in 2018. So apparently, they're just tearing down houses and building brand new ones.
They are.
Gentrifying.
It's gentrifying quick. Like it was a real rough neighborhood when I was a kid. It's changing very rapidly.
Well, I don't know.
There's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath right behind it that expired. That was on market and couldn't sell at 105 at 36 build.
I've seen that one.
And
It's on the market now, and it's active, and it's a real turd, and it's been on the market for 298 days. So
there's a 63. That's 736 square foot, but that's a good looking little house.
there's another one that's been on the market for 444 days for $99,000, built in 1946. So
Yeah, it seems like this can be a $50,000 offer, Corey.
well, there's another one pending. 4.2 built in 72. It's pending. It was only on the market 38 days, but it's a completely different house than another. Well, no, it's pretty.
Bro, there ain't nothing comparable about a 70 build and a 25 build. When you go back and find nothing too barn,
I get that, but I thought it was nice. I thought it was gonna be nice. Like, turns out when I look at the inside, it is not nice. It's a real shithole. So,
but here's a cute little 3-1 35 built for 95, and that one sold after it's been on market 246 days.
yeah, no, I get it. I
think we're gonna make the right offer today, which is, I mean, here's $50,000 house or $50,000 house that was on market 21 days. That seems to be the price where stuff moves.
Well, if you got to get it, if it moves at 50, you got to get it for 40. But what I would say is, anyways, just fire your shot. But remember, it's 2 units, so the worst case on it from a rental standpoint probably ain't that bad. And then the other thing, I mean, that's if it's livable. That's if it doesn't need anything to get tenants in there. The other thing is, if you do get it for around 50. Owner financing it for 100 probably isn't going to be that tough. I wouldn't think, but I also don't know. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, is there a lot of owner finance activity in that neighborhood? Maybe, maybe not. But something to consider. But
I would think that
I was really excited about it when I first heard the price and square footage. I was like, oh man, this is going to be a deal. But
I mean, it's $50 a square foot.
Yeah, but the comps are saying it's a real turd, real nightmare. I mean, I'm looking at that $50,000 one that you talked about. I mean, it's a 40 build.
I mean, here's a nightmare that's sold for 39, and I'm talking nightmare.
There's another one that sold for 44. That was an even bigger nightmare.
That is.
But those are probably being torn down and new stuff's being built.
Oh, definitely. That one for 44 has got to be torn down. There's no walls. It's mold and press board.
Yes.
With a front door it's built 3 inches from the next house. That must be. I bet they were willing to owner finance with 5,000 down and carry first. Nice.
It might have sold it that way. We don't know how.
Holy crap, that is a crazy house. I've never seen that much press board on the outside. And look at all that mold.
Yeah. Well, Spoonie, I've got to get back to getting my click funnel performing.
Yeah, I gotta go anyways, man. I gotta go get ready. I gotta meet these dudes at 1.
Are you going to join me for my marketing mastermind tour?
What's that?
Are you going to join me for my marketing mastermind tour?
Why not? I'll join you for every part of I can.
I've got dates in Corpus, San Marcos, and College Station right now.
Well, I've got that one thing planned in January. I'm going to that Nashville deal with but other than that, I'm pretty much open.
I've got Denver, Nashville, Phoenix, and Orlando, and New Orleans.
What do you got in January?
I don't know. I hadn't built it that far out. You know what? I'm building this out, and I don't even have venues.
Well, in Corpus, we know where we can get a good venue.
I've already got that venue. I did get that one. Matter of fact,
Denver, I can put my brother-in-law on it. He lives there if you need me to.
I'm just going with Hampton Inns.
Those are nice. You know what else is really nice is Homewood Suites. I love Homewood Suites.
Those two. Like I'm just using that now.
They got that free breakfast and they got free dinner during the week.
It's true. But I'm capping the size of them to 50 people because I don't know. You've been to them. What do you think?
Well, I have a different perspective than everybody else because I'm usually mashing keyboard buttons behind there. But
yeah, but I mean, from a phone answering point of view, like from a like I can take this home and murder dial some shit point of view.
Well, I think it definitely helped you get over some of the fear that a lot of people get wrapped around. If you're not willing to get yelled at on the phone, you're never going to actually make some phone calls.
Something else we're doing different on these is the day before we're going to go to the county clerk's office and pull our own data.
That will be very valuable. It took me, I got 2 years of learning to really get deep into tax data. And a lot of that knowledge is just because some people have shared it with me, right? Mm-hmm. They've given me a lot of shortcuts. People like you, Larry, have helped me. So to learn how to look at that and understand what you're actually seeing. I'll tell you a quote one time. I was trying to understand some records. Like I didn't understand between who was the buyer, who was the seller on deed, like a deed of trust and stuff like that. And I was asking some dudes, and they're like, you know what? Don't worry about it. You got to pay your dues, and then come around time, we'll help you. And that kind of ridiculousness is not something that happens with us, right? Like we just tell people, like it's craziness over something as simple as what, you know what I mean? Like I'm like,
I know exactly what you mean.
I'm like, but I don't understand. Like I'm trying to understand this, and they're like, no, you got to pay your dues. Okay, so I just went out and learned it on my own. But we don't really ever hide that kind of knowledge from anybody because it just doesn't matter. Like people are going to compete with you or they're not. Most people aren't hungry enough to really compete with you.
I'm not worried about that. Like what I want people to do is get low cost negotiations under their belt because it's the most important thing for a new person to be able to do is to be able to negotiate with sellers and not go broke. And if you can't get good at negotiating, you know what I mean? You can watch me negotiate. You can watch Jason negotiate and watch anybody negotiate all day long. But until you're negotiating, it doesn't matter. Well,
and
Jason, you've seen me in action.
Yep.
At the $20,000 ship box, you've seen me in action on a YouTube video that's on here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it's funny. I talk about this a lot. People within the team, like me and Nick, we conversate about this a lot about different sales styles and stuff like that. Me and Corey have totally different approaches a lot of times, but the core the core of how we make offers is the same, the way that Corey taught me. Like the approach is the same, and getting comfortable with yourself and being able to. I cannot do Corey Thompson. I can't do it. I sound crazy when I try to throw out the same lines Corey does, because that's his personality. But the core of how you make those offers and how you negotiate has to be the same, or you go ahead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nick, just went out on that negotiation with that lady that wanted 20 grand for her house. She wanted 20. It was condemned. And anyways, I mean, just, we know condemned houses will get you sued. So we're like, we don't want no part of this. Offer her 5, and then she countered 6. And most people wouldn't make that offer. Now we've got that one sold to an end buyer that's not an investor,
who brought $8,000 in cash.
$8,000 in cash to the title company. But we knew the outcome of that before it happened. Like I told Nick, I was like, man, if you get that thing locked up for 6, we'll put it out on finance. We'll figure out a fancy way to orchestrate this deal.
Now that's going to be an interesting deal because there's been title issues getting all cleared up. They haven't been able to get the tax attorney or the city attorney to answer them on stuff. The county attorney, whichever one it is.
There's not a county attorney. It's the attorney that's doing any tax foreclosure or anything like that.
So they haven't been able to get them answered. The contract's up Friday, and snakes have been snaking all over the place, calling that lady, I'll give you $1,000 more. I'll give you $500 more. And I told Nick, I said, call her and tell her that's all cool. You're not getting any of our title work. And if you lose this house in the process, it is what it is if you decide you don't want to finish with us. But we're almost to the deadline here.
She called me today. She seemed like she just wanted to do business with us.
Oh, okay. She keeps asking him, like, are y'all really going to close? People are offering me more money.
How did they even find it?
I don't know. Oh, because they found the house because he was giving the address out to people that were calling about the owner finance stuff when we put it out.
Oh.
So they tracked her down, which ain't hard to do if you know how to read the tax records.
So no, but I mean, it's not the owner finance buyers aren't doing that though. The owner finance buyers are going. I don't think so.
It may not be them. It may be people that told him they want to owner finance it.
Yeah.
Got the address. And they're just trying to snake a deal.
Yeah, that in that town, that's amazing that would happen. That's amazing. But
this is why marketing and salesmanship are so important. I think you could call those guys that I went and talked to yesterday, and you might close them if you offered them a hot ton more money than I did. But I don't think you could go build any more rapport with them than I did yesterday. And I think I'll get a call back from them, but they may be like, well, this guy offered more money. And I'm going to be like, well, go with them and call me when they don't close. But
you talking about the $100,000 offer or the one that Nick got?
$100,000 house.
Okay. What did Nick offer? 90?
I think so. But that guy won 180.
Yeah, they're pretty far apart. So,
but
he didn't speak good English, and I couldn't negotiate with him over the phone hardly at all.
Well, my point is, so you're getting my brain turning now. I've only had 1 cup of coffee, so it's taken a few minutes. But with this marketing, while I'm not the best on the phone, and everybody knows it because they all like to make fun of me. I will get on the phone and make those phone calls, right? It's just kind of a tragedy some days. On the other hand, some days it's not. Some days I even hit a home run off the phone. You have to try.
I don't know what you're talking about, Witherspoon. I don't know what you're talking about. Every time I get on the phone, I hear all these impossibilities, and then I get on the phone and the impossible becomes possible.
My point is
I'm great on the phone.
My point is it is possible, and that's the value of coming to a class like this. Is you can come in there, get your testicles kicked in with a bunch of other people, and I promise you will. You're gonna get some hate, but you're gonna get some people that are just like, yeah, cool, put me on your buyers list, or hey, I do have something to sell. There's a lot of goodness. When we did that one in Tyler, like Kadisha and them walked out of there with a buyer and a multi-pack of homes.
Mm-hmm. And that's because nobody had marketed it in Tyler, maybe ever. And it's gonna be the same way in Corpus.
Everybody tells me that when I talk to the wholesalers out in Tyler, they're like, oh, you can't really wholesale here. I'm like, I guess you should get some money then and just buy all these deals because there's literally $20,000 houses everywhere.
And Tyler's a great little town. The marketing that we're doing, at least in Corpus, and then I'll bet you I can take a map. I don't even have to. Like I'm just looking at a map. I'm thinking Victoria off the top of my head. Kingsville. Okay, so you got Corpus. Yeah. Beeville, Mathis, Alice. I mean, Alice is a real shithole. Probably down because of the oil field. Robstown, Kingsville, Bishop, Corpus. Of course, you got Rockport, Aransas Pass, all that stuff. But
what we should do is grab us a boat. We should go down to grab us a 8-10 hour fish while we're down there somewhere.
Maybe, but I would think that there's going to be a ton of opportunity to do these little small deals, these little $5,000-$6,000 deals, all out there. Because I looked at a $7,500 deal in Mathis. The only reason why we didn't do that is because I went to the buy sell trade group and searched Mathis, and there was a brick house for sale owner finance for $15,000. And it was still for sale. So I was like, well, maybe I can't owner finance it in that town and make money. Not in that condition. If it was in better condition, you could. The brick house had boards on the windows and probably was moldy on the inside. Just jacked up. But when I look at Corpus, and then the most amazing part, you got San Antonio and Austin. We're going dead in the middle of them. And that whole area west of 35, that 281 corridor, that's a gold mine. I promise you that's a gold mine because people can no longer afford to live in Austin. They get pushed out west. And I promise you, every one of those towns, Marble Falls, Bull Verde.
Man, I drove through Marble Falls the other day. I didn't even recognize it.
Johnson City, Blanco.
John, if you're
at some point in the future, I-35 West is just going to be 281. And I think it's going to go all the way to San Antonio.
Dude, Johnson City always astounded me because, it was a town in the middle of nowhere with a giant highway that went there, like a 4-lane highway. Just right in the middle of nowhere.
But Johnson City is where you cut off to go to the wine country. What's it called?
Napa?
No. Fredericksburg.
Oh, well, hey, I want to make a point here real quick. I'm going to circle the wagons here, Chris. We talked about this a minute ago, and I was trying to get out. And we got on other stuff. When we talk about these other deals, like people bringing deals, could me and you stay busy out of our inboxes? We could, and we would probably never get deals done because we'd stay busy curing these deals for people that may or may not break us in the process, like that deal. And I get these calls all the time, and I want to be clear why I don't do stuff with them is because people want me to clear all of these title issues for them, and then they either ghost me or they think that they deserve half the deal after I spent 3 months working a deal, and all they did was bring a lead that they couldn't even get under contract, like craziness, like because they made a phone call.
But that's some people's game. Some people make a really good living off of those new people. They JV with them on 1 or 2 deals.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you can't market yourself, how could you possibly bring any value to their life?
Well,
everybody knows 5 houses right now that's just getting started. That's why they wanted to get into real estate to begin with. They got tired of driving by the house that was vacant. They wanted to figure out how to flip it, and they started Googling. Then they figured out they wouldn't have to flip it because they could wholesale it. Now it's looking like free, easy money, no work. And, it's just got that whole look to it. It's like, what is this thing? What is it actually? Like, oh, I can make money like that? Easy money. At the end of the day, you will get those licks. But, and I'm not telling anybody to settle. If you're not willing to do these 3 things, you might never be like that big wholesaler you watch on TV all the time. You know what I mean?
Well, so I'm gonna say if you're not like I'm gonna put my own deal on here that has nothing to do with being a giant wholesaler. But if you call me and be like, hey dude, I want to JV a deal with you, because I don't do deals that are more than an hour away from my house, and they want me to drive 3 hours and give them half of the deal, don't waste your time. Don't get in my inbox. Don't call me, because that's just like saying fuck
That's
you.
the first thing I ask people.
What's that?
Have you seen it yet?
What? Oh yeah, every time.
Like, have you seen it yet? No, I haven't.
Yeah. And when they say like, hey, no, I don't drive over an hour and a half. That's not my business model. Well, then don't call me.
You
Don't call me.
homegirl that hates me on the internet now, doing apartment deals apparently. She told me that's not in my business model. That's not in my business model. Well, I hate it. I hate it for you, but it looks like it cost you 10 grand. That's what it looks like for me. Actually, 7,500 because Goon Squad got you 2,500 from the guy that supposedly stole the deal from you. But she wouldn't get no earnest money to the title company because she didn't have no earnest money to get to the title company.
But earnest money can be a $10.
No, not whenever you're buying off fucking MLS. It ain't.
Oh,
She goes in and contracts the property off of MLS, contracts it off of MLS. The real estate agent's saying, hey, you got to get this earning money in. She finds an end buyer, has an end buyer lined up, going to make 10 grand on the deal. The end buyer is seasoned enough to know. He's a little snaky, but he's seasoned enough to know. You know what I mean? She wants him to bring the earnest money. He's like, that's not how this works. That's not how this works. And then he's like, I'm just going to pay you a bird dog fee. Goes to the agent. After she can't get earnest money to title and doesn't have a contract, he goes to it, contracts it, and then pays her a $2,500 bird dog fee. When she brought it to Roughneck Real Estate to put the dude on blast, we review the situation, and we're like, well, if you go make offers off of MLS and you got an end buyer lined up, what's the big deal about putting some earnest money to the title company and getting your contract solidified? It's 4 hours away. The deal was in Houston. I'm in Groesbeck. Oh, okay. Well, what? They don't wire money. The truth was she didn't have no money. I mean that was the truth, and I don't falter for it. But when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and your stupid prize on that is a $2,500 finder's fee that is a blessing to your life. You should know that because he didn't have to pay you shit, and that would have made him kind of shady. Instead of a $10,000 assignment fee that you would have had you just borrowed some money from your mama or somebody. It's $1,500 fucking earnest money. You know what I mean? She could have called me at that point now and gave her the money.
See that? What's yours look like, Corey? I bet it's at least 1,000 more than mine.
At least 1,000 more, I bet. I don't know. Let me see.
This is a light month for me. I usually drive 1,000 miles a week.
What is mine?
Look at that. He doubled me up. Doubled me up right there. 7,200 miles in a month. In a month.
Every single month.
And you call and say like, and that's an unnormal month for me. Like I typically run about 1,000, 1,200 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I live a lot closer to the deals than Corey does, than our North Texas deals. That helps. But
I'm gonna get a look at those.
You call me or you call Corey and say, hey, dude, it's not my business model. I'm not driving to Houston. Corey knows right now if somebody called me and they go, hey, we got an appraisal, this thing's 50 cents on the dollar. I'm going to get in the car and drive to Amarillo or wherever that's at to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Or he's going to drive to New Orleans where there's not going to be any questions asked. My kids will see the Roadrunner run right out the front door. Just be a ball of smoke.
The reason why I feel like there's so much more value in the Vegas mastermind is because of that. We've made money in, I need to add it up, but I think it's something like 38 counties. 38 counties. Texas has 254, and I think we've done business in 38 of them. You know what I mean?
We might need to put together a HUD repository. Just a repository on the internet of HUDs. So every time anybody says anything, just be like, well, go here, the business we have done, and then call us back.
Jacob's got them all on Google Drive. I can probably pull one up right now.
You know, dude, the earnest money is so funny to me the earnest money thing. Like that $350,000 deal we bought, I did that on $100. It was either $100 or $500 earnest money.
I know.
And the guy's like, well, isn't that light? I'm like, it is. What does this have to do with my ability to close? You want $1,500? I'll write you a check for $1,500. I don't care. And they're like, no, you know what? It doesn't really matter. You're right. And they let me.
And what did that deal have? What did that deal have?
What do you mean?
What did it have? What did it take to get across the finish line?
Nothing.
Had title issues.
Oh, yeah.
That front parcel had title issues. These motherfuckers. Everybody's like, well, why does it matter? Why does it matter if they why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Well, it matters. You know what I mean? When you're out here doing this every day, when you're holding sellers' hands to get it across the finish line, scrubbing title, doing everything you can to get a deal closed, you know that when somebody's coming up, there's a reason why there's a discount on that property. It's because it can't get closed by a fucking agent, because they don't teach agents how to clean title in real estate. They don't know what to do. They inherited it. I mean, that was an inherited property. They had owned it for a long time, but they had inherited it, and they somehow got that brother spun off, but didn't get a survey. I don't remember what the deal with that was.
Well, there was all kinds of weirdness. They let the brother build a property on the land that became personal property.
That's what it was.
He wasn't actually given rights to the land under it, because the dad didn't trust him. You know, he is what it is. But there was all kinds of weirdness that most people and most title companies would have balked at. You know, like you've got these problems with the Lampasas title company right now.
Oh my God.
Just a nightmare. Just a nightmare. Like,
all we want to do is owner finance something that we bought owner finance and let them assume our mortgage. Very simple transaction. Title company refuses to do it. While we're closing up that title company, I have no earthly idea. So what we ended up having to do was we had to draw up this fucking contract. Okay. We had to give a deed in lieu of foreclosure back to the guy that owner financed it from, that we owner financed it from. He had to put their down payment, the buyer's down payment, in escrow at a separate attorney's office. We signed a deed in lieu of foreclosure over to him. Now the title company's running the title work on it all over again, so they can owner finance it directly from him. So he's going to get their $50,000 down payment. But if that seller, if that person that we bought it from owner finance didn't have $50,000 to put in an escrow account, we wouldn't be able to do that transaction. And it's stupid. Now, could we move title companies and all that? Yes, but the buyers don't want to swap title companies.
Well, and they would balk too. They always do. They think, they don't understand that people think that just because it's a title company or it's a realtor or anything else, that they're professionals. Like they've got it. They got a license. They're insured by the state, or they're whatever that is.
Once you get your sellers or new buyers believing this fairy tale, it's going to be really hard to get them on the new one. And you know what I mean?
And I want to be clear. We got a title agent that's a beast. She can move. I mean, she can move some balls down the field that most wouldn't even look at. Like she's very good at that. But you get in these little mom and pop situations in other places a lot of times. They just don't understand a complicated transaction. They don't understand that just because it's complicated, like I think this must be illegal. I think that must be their first thought.
I don't know. I don't know what their deal is. I think the seller. I don't want to speculate about what's going on. But anyways, I got to jump off here.
I got one too, man.
Vegas mastermind.
Holler.
Later.